It's just me, Scottie McClue, and we are live with the morning phone-in. Fantastic. Lovely to have you with us, and a very, very warm welcome to our Friday morning pop-up. Good morning to all the beautiful TikTokers who have joined us as well. Always lovely to have you with us, and a big dinky-do to you, I say. Marvellous stuff. Scottie McClue, the first lord of the internet, hashtag Floti, Floti, all in uppercase. Right, always have that. First lord of the internet, my official title. Do let everybody know that we are live, of course. Start sharing and start subscribing on the YouTube channel. Very, very big. Excellent. Lovely to have you with us. Fabulous phone in last night. By the way, this is the last of our morning phone-ins, but it's been an absolute blast up till now. So fantastic stuff. Now let's see what's happening on the chat. Who have we got here? Dinky-Doo from Netties. Netties, always good to have you with us. A very good morning to you, and a big Dinky-Doo. Lots to discuss this morning. Morning, Scottie, looking smart. How are you, darling Diane? Angel, Cherie, I am fantastic. Diane Marchand, I thank you very much. Lovely. Thank you for admiring my satirical elegance this morning. Good morning, everybody. Lovely to have you with us. Dinky-Doo says VJ. VJ, lovely to have you with us. And a warm welcome to you as well. Spread the word. The big ones are YouTube and Twitch, Facebook and LinkedIn Live. These are the platforms that you can catch us on. And YouTube, I would suggest build up the YouTube as much as you can. Superb stuff. So there we go. Now then, who have we got here? Whoa! I think we had a wee problem there. Somebody slipped. The cameraman slipped and fell on the TikTok. Not so good. How come you know so much French, fella? Ah oui, je regrette, mais je ne parle pas français très vite. Si tu parles lentement, peut-être je comprends. Je m'appelle Scottie McClue. Je suis le professeur de français à la TikTok, à la YouTube, à la LinkedIn Live, à la Facebook, à la Twitch. Morning, Lord Scottie. Morning, Keith. Lovely to have you with us. And a big dinky-do to you, I say. Marvelous stuff. Now then, Mr. McClue, a very happy 4 a.m. from Texas. Good morning, Scottie from County Down. We love you in County Down. Good morning to our beautiful, beautiful TikTokers. And Dinky-Doo, lovely to have you with us. Morning, Lord Scottie. Thank you very much, Keith. Excellent stuff. Now, let's go to the phones and open up the phone lines. Morning, Scottie. My battery died last night. Andy Pandy, I'm not surprised. You gave me, was it 200 or 300 TikToks? Very kind of you. That would have clobbered your battery, probably. I don't know. I don't know how it works, to be honest with you. Right, I'm opening up the phone lines, guys. If anybody wants to phone in, you would be very, very welcome. You'll see the number in front of you there, and I'll also get you some more information. So there we are. Morning, Scottie, says Professor Numpty. The geese got me up early this morning. Oh, that's geese. I'm sure that's geese. And everybody runs to the windy. Dinky-Doo to you, Mr. McClue. Kareem Zakaria. Good morning to you. How lovely to have you with us. And welcome, 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 I say. Phone lines are there if anybody wants to phone in. 500, Andy Pandy. 500 TikToks. Well, if that won't wear out your phone, what will I say? Andy Pandy on TikTok sent me 500 TikToks. I think that is incredible. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Morning, Scottie. It's Martin, buddy. How are you?
Martin, buddy, how are you? Lovely to hear from you.
I've got a topic I want to discuss with you. It's about the I want to discuss about the Tudor days and all that.
The Tudor days, Martin. I love it. Yes, go for it, la.
Why don't you tell me about the Tudor days then?
Tell me. I mean, you phoned me. I thought you were phoning to tell the nation about the Tudor days.
The Tudor days means like there's all the Henry died at a very young age from gout.
Yes, from the gout. I went into the doctors and I limped in, and he said, gout. I said, I've only just come in.
Wow.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
Now, so tell us about the Henrys, Martin. Who's your favourite Henry?
I like Henry VIII.
You liked Henry VIII. What about Henry V?
Maybe so there's different people. There's Anne Boleyn, there's Jane Seymour, there's Cornwell.
This is Henry VIII's 6 wives. Yes. Absolutely, yes, fantastic.
Yes. And my history I like to go back on. I like to know about Edinburgh Castle.
Oh, I'm losing you, Martin. I don't know if you're not speaking into your mic or anything, but we just lost you there completely. Couldn't hear a thing. Kareem's broken the phone, says Numpty. No, he's not. Hello, you're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scotty. It's Martin again.
Ah, Martin, excellent. You must have gone off mic. We couldn't hear a thing.
I know. The thing I was saying about I like to know about Edinburgh Castle because I've not been to Edinburgh Castle before.
Edinburgh Castle? Oh, that's got a fascinating history. You can go back 700 or 800 years there.
Yes, but I like to...
Oh, we've lost you again, Martin. You must be talking off mic. Anyway, there we go. Can you hear a thing? Morning, Dinky-Doo, says John Gardner. So there we go. Fantastic. Now, let's see what we've got. Hello, you're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Martin, Scotty.
Ah, Martin, we keep losing you, Martin.
I know, mate.
I don't know if maybe are you suddenly turning your head away from your microphone?
No, I am in. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, lovely and clear.
Okay. The thing was, I like to know about Edinburgh Castle a lot because I've not been there before.
Right, and what about a visit? Do you fancy a visit now that things are opening up again?
Yes, I do. I would love to go up there again. I would like to go there.
I think you'd love it. You know, there's a royal palace up there. It used to be a royal residence. Yes, and at the side, if you look sideways at Edinburgh Castle, the big road going down the Royal Mile, the Cannon Gate, where the canons used to walk down to the Abbey of the Holy Rood. In other words, Holyrood.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So you'll get the old ruined abbey in the grounds of Holyrood House, which is Scotland's royal residence in Edinburgh. But there's about 7 or 8 royal residences in Scotland. Some of them are not so habitable.
Yes.
Fantastic. So what about that?
Have you been to the art galleries and the Transport Museum?
Oh, many times. Yes, indeed. Have you seen the Dali painting?
Yes.
Christ of St. John on the Cross, Martin.
Yes, I have.
Used to be at the St. Mungo Museum. Lovely stuff. So that's well worth a look. Although they've got glass on it now, and it's in a bit of a corner.
Yes.
And there was a wonderful man bought that called Dr. Tom Honeyman. And he was the Arts Supremo for Glasgow in the 50s. And do you know how much he bought it for?
How much?
£8,000. And everybody was doing their nut about the waste of money. Now it's priceless.
Wow.
People need to see the big picture, if you'll pardon the pun.
Yes, correct.
You know, that's what we need to see, Martin. A bit more of that.
Yes. And I've been to the other place up in Edinburgh. I've been to the other museum, the one with all the stuffed animals and all that. I've been there quite a lot.
Oh, yes, the Museum of Natural History.
Yes.
Yes, wonderful.
And I've been to the place with the one with all those teeth. See that, and different type of teeth and all that.
Yeah, different teeth. Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely.
I've been there before. Different like body parts, like teeth and all that.
Oh my goodness me. This is excellent. Anyway, lovely to hear you, and we will catch up later.
Yes, I can touch you later on.
Yes, and Dinky-Doo.
DINKY-DOO to me. Love you. Bye.
Love you lots. Thanks, Martin. Top man. There we are. Martin at the museums. We love all that. The phones are working. If anybody wants to come on for a wee chit chat, then you can. If you've just joined us, it's a morning phone in. It's an experiment. And this is number 4. It's our last one because obviously we'll not be able to do it next week. You're live at Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
DINKY-DOO, Scottie, it's Kareem.
Ah, Kareem, good morning to you. What a joy.
It's a beautiful day today.
It's a stunningly beautiful day. I take it the dogs will be getting an extended walk today.
I'll need to wait, Scottie, because I still not got my car back.
Oh, have you not, Kareem?
MOT.
All right. Did they say there was anything that needed fixed?
They've changed. I mean, they're a vet. I do trust them because how many garages do you know tell you, well, you actually don't need this, and this?
No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Don't mention the name, of course.
No. But basically now what I need is a new exhaust. And
is it from the cat back?
Yeah, I don't know, it's like a bracket or something that holds them in. I said, look, we just need to replace it all. So a new tyre, getting a new exhaust, and MOT is about 360.
Yes, I was just going to say, I was just going to price it for you, and I thought your tyre will be about 80 quid. Your exhaust will be around the 200 mark. Mm-hmm. You know, so all that, once you start all that, you're up to your 3 tons, you know.
Yeah, because I actually thought I needed new brake pads. And I took it to another garage a couple of months back, and obviously I think fashion now, they say if you need new brake pads, you need a brake disc. I said, well, the discs look fine. Yeah. So I went back to my original garage because they were fully booked, but they managed to fit me in, and they told me a couple of months, said, look, you don't need it, it's fine. And then they told me again yesterday, look, it's probably by January, February before you need to get new ones in. So
yeah, because you see, the thing is, if your car's been sitting during lockdown, the brakes might sound a wee bit rough.
Right.
Just because there'll be, you know, bits of shecht all gathered on them.
Yes. So I feel very weird, Scottie, because I drive everywhere and anywhere, and, you know, it's just like, right, I'm going to pop out to
I know, it becomes your right hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I just feel stuck.
A wee bit stuck. But I'll tell you what, Kareem, if you ever are stuck, you know, and I mean, obviously, you know, you need to check your prices, but your local taxi firm now, I remember I was going out to do some work, and the car was in, so I just rang the local taxi firm, and about 5 minutes later, a lovely car arrived, a really nice guy driving it, and took me where I was going, and it was about, I think, £5 or something.
Wow.
You know, and so it's always worth a thought. Never be stuck.
Well, I actually, when I took it a couple of months ago to leave it at the garage for them to look at the brake pads, I won't name the company. It's a local one where I stay anyway, so you'll probably know the one. But they have an app. And my God, Scottie, things have changed since I'm 40 now.
Oh.
But when I used to get a taxi a lot coming back from the clubbing when I was 18, 19, 20, it's so different.
And last week?
The app actually shows you the taxi where it is. It's on its way, and when it gets to its destination.
Oh, wow. Well, I got a text giving me the number and that it was sitting outside and all sorts of things.
And the type of car, what kind of car
yes, it is. Yes, it told me what car it was and everything.
I thought, that's service. I thought, wow, that's
no, it is real superb service. I think I know who you're talking about, and it is really superb service.
Yeah, so I was quite happy with that. But to be fair, I don't use taxis much, but I've kept the app just in case if I need them in the future.
And where else I was quite touched was I went round and I said to the driver, you don't mind if I come in the front with you? He said, no, not at all. And he started off by saying, morning, Scottie. But he goes, morning, Scottie, where are we off to?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. And he knew where we were off to because all that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Scottie, I'm going to, at one point today, I'm going to send you a link And it's just basically for your own leisure to look at. A bit of ammunition from that chap last night that was trying to...
Yes, did you like that call? I'm going to upload a bit more of that call, actually, to TikTok.
Right.
Because it was, I've uploaded the first bit. You're on TikTok, so you'll be able to see it. And I've uploaded the first bit, and I'll maybe pop the rest of it up as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you, it was a report by a company down in London, and it was these people in economics, etc., for this big institution, and it was they were looking at the benefits of Scottish independence.
Yes.
And they used comparative data like from the other small countries around, like in Europe,
yes,
became independent, etc. However, to cut the story short, it says that at the start, like, things are not going to be peachy and rosy.
No, of course not.
In time, Scotland will become an economic powerhouse.
And Westminster will make it as difficult as possible to punish us for going, you know, unless they actually waken up. But it was lovely to hear a very senior figure the other day saying, you know, we really need to start treating Scotland a lot better, with a lot more respect.
Well, I think the damage is done and it's too late. But interesting enough, Scott.
Well, I think the present mob, the damage is done. But I mean, if I was in there, you see, I wouldn't have all this anti-stuff. If I was in there as leader right now, I would say to Nicola, you phone me any time you like, Nicola, and I'll give you a straight answer. Some things will be possible, some things will just not. But I will not be being obstructive or difficult, obstructional, anything like that. But I will tell you straight what's going on.
Yeah.
And anytime you're down, why not pop in and just have a coffee if we can arrange that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. In fact, I'm coming up. Would you receive me at Butte House?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. I think that's been civil. I think that's been polite. But at the end of the day, I think the damage is done, Scottie.
Yeah. But the damage has been done over 313 years because Westminster has always had a problem of doing an assumption of superiority. Now, if you are actually superior, I mean, I've gone to meet really very powerful captains of industry who are big SCOTTIE McCLUE fans. And they never, ever, ever take the high ground with me. You know, and I'm really rather touched. I arrive and they go, come in, and they've cleared their desk. They'll say to the PA, can you hold the calls, please?
Yes.
And then they usually start by saying, what can I do for you, Scottie? It's good to meet you at last in the flesh. You know? And I'll talk to them about advertising or sponsorship or blah, blah, blah. You know, and very often a lot of these senior people really would benefit for some proper media training.
Yes.
And that's actually my forte, if you see it. I mean, I know it seems funny. A funny guy in a hat, funny old guy in a hat, but my forte is working with very senior people on how their image should look on the telly. And I could go to town. I could go to town on the present mob, I can tell you.
Well, I'm coming away from the independence chat, but I'll send you that link, Scottie. It is a document that they've researched everything.
Yes.
And funny thing is, someone in Westminster tried to hide the document, didn't want people to see it.
Of course they did. Of course. They hid the Macron report for years.
Yeah.
You know, and RGL Macron is one of the most respected economists in the world.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, fantastic. And you know, it would just blow you away, but it's fear, you know, fear on Westminster's part. If Scotland learns the truth, they'll be off. Now, they didn't help with Brexit.
No. Well, Scottie, the by-elections were just there for Falkirk Council. I just had a wee nosy at them. And I think the SNP won, I think, by 40 votes. By 40 votes for the councillors, a new councillor,
Yeah.
and the Tories came in second. You know, it makes, I mean, people were just amazed that people are still voting Tory. Now, that is up to everybody. I think.
Well, I think probably you'll find some people are voting Tory because they don't like the fact that the SNP are to the left of centre. Yeah. And I think you would see a huge shift. Two things. One, the Labour Party got flung straight into the political wilderness. Now they're still there wandering about. And they'll be in the wilderness forever because they decided to betray their roots and go against Scottish independence. You see, the SNP were actually born out of the Labour Party.
Yeah.
The chairman of the Labour Party was the first head of the SNP.
Well, that seems to happen quite a lot. I'll give you an example with teaching. If you look at the EIS, you've got the SSTA, which used to be former members of EIS. You know, so you get all of these wee divisions that, for whatever reason, they want change or they want to look at something in a different direction.
Yeah, the only thing I will say, and I'm not in any way citing these particular ones you've mentioned, but in general, the only thing I will say that if you have splinter groups, if you like, then you fragmentate the whole thing. Right. So once you start doing that, for instance, I've said it many, many times, Brexit will probably lead to economic annihilation and political fragmentation. So in other words, all this, we're bringing the UK out to have our sovereignty, will end up in the breakup of the UK in a very poor economic circumstances. Yeah. Because they haven't looked at it. You see, where they're very, very poor in Westminster is standing up and holding their hand up and saying, look, we got this a bit wrong. Now look how many vault fish there has been, about tons. You know, there has been with the present government. 1 week they're saying one thing, another week they've completely changed. Yeah. So when you get that kind of swinging to and fro, people think, no, you can't have any faith in this at all. And the other thing is, it's not explained. For instance, there is no de facto case for the union. People say, but Scott, we're better together. You say, no, we're not. We're actually not. That's the whole thing. Economically, it is not better for Scotland to be run from London. You know, and it never was. But the union, I mean, I don't know how much you've looked into it. I'm studying it in terrific depth at the moment. But the union was built on sand, and it was jiggery-pokery by Queen Anne. Yeah. And she thought, we'll give the nobles a few quid and they'll sell out. And we'll pull out of Darien, that was King William, and we'll cause all sorts of economic problems. So, you know, if you like, your people voting Tory are your people voting for people that are waving a union flag because they don't trust the nationalists. But Scottish nationalism is the antithesis of English nationalism and even Welsh and Irish nationalism. Scottish nationalism is a much more organic growth, and it is much more, what's the term I'm looking for? It's grown from the inside out. It's holistic.
I think it's not. Is it not inclusive? It's not involving everybody.
It's very inclusive. It's actually not in any political way extreme at all. As you know, my only anxiety is they must acknowledge the Queen as head of state, or they're wasting their time.
I would like to think they wouldn't be that stupid. I know the Greens weren't too keen on the monarchy, but I keep saying this, Scottie, I am not worried at all. The monarchy will be going nowhere.
Yeah.
And a strong independent Scotland, the way I see it, if we get into F2, there will be a very strong economy in time, a very strong leader within Europe, and we'll have a very strong monarchy.
Yes, and once you've got all that in place, there's nowhere else for Westminster to go.
Correct. Yes.
You know, there isn't really, because their first thing they're going to step in with, what are you going to do about the monarchy? And Scotland needs to have their answer right and say, absolutely nothing. Status quo, backed 100% by the Scottish people.
Yeah. Well, I think that will be a question that will definitely be asked when the pistol goes, Scotty, like, to say, right, we're having the referendum on the 1st of May, 2023, in a year and a bit's time or so, fine. Right, and then this is when all the questions go.
Yeah, yeah. So you've got to look at that. The other thing is, remember that there are other parties that could step in.
Mm-hmm. Well, when the Parliament, if we get independence, then I think we will have an absolute talent coming to Scotland, because you know yourself, there's going to be great opportunities. Entrepreneurs will see this as an opportunity. In any field, you're going to get so many people coming here. The expertise is going to grow even further. I do think there's going to be a lot of opportunities.
Yes, and the standard of living, Kareem, I mean, I was brought up in Greenock, as you know, and it's an absolute playground if the economics are sorted out.
Yes.
You know, the housing is outstanding. The geographical situation is outstanding. The opportunities. See, have you noticed in this country, we have very little in the way, particularly in Scotland, very little in the way of boating and sailing and yachting. Yeah. Now, we have the finest place in the world for all these things. And when I was brought up in the 60s, the place was awash with boats and yachts and sailing boats and all that sort of thing. Now, various governments, particularly the Labour government, they shoved up the fuel for boats because they thought it was for rich people. Now, they used to be run on gas oil. They were run on commercial diesel. And I think it was actually Gordon Brown, as Chancellor, said, stop that and charge full price. So, you know, they're not friendly to these things. I mean, we do have marinas, we have a boating industry, but nothing of the scale for ordinary families who had a wee sailing dinghy or a rowing dinghy or a small yacht. You know, that sort of idea. And they were so cheap to run because you'd run them for, well, nowadays it would probably be about 50p a gallon or something. And a nice big cruising boat might use 50 gallons a day, you know?
With that in mind, and with the ports that we used to have, if you look at it now, I would say from observation that we've got a generation or two where they're not used to having what you've just said, all these boats and then big industry.
Yes.
You know, it's a forgotten trade, etc.
Yes.
You know,
yes. So we're not booming our economy the way we should be doing, and that's why, as I say, we could do with the extra 48 billion right away.
Yes, and that would happen. Now, they talk about borrowing as well. Well, you've borrowed X, Y, and Z. Well, Scotland's not allowed to borrow money.
Which also means it doesn't have an overdraft.
Yeah.
So we don't actually owe any money.
And if that was part of the deal that we had to pay, say, let's say 5 billion back, you owe us 5 billion, well, that's fine then. Well, from the 40 billion that we're going to make this year, here's the 5 billion. There's a wee 5 billion for you.
There you are. There's a wee drink to you.
Absolutely, Scotty. What I'll do tonight, just give a preview for tonight's call. The Westminster are changing the constituencies. I think they call it, is it in America, gerrymongering?
Yes, gerrymandering. Gerrymandering.
Sorry. So two seats have been lost in Scotland, and ironically, one of them is Douglas Ross's seat from Westminster. So he's not too happy about that. He's going to be losing a very big wage. So
I can well imagine. Absolutely. There we are. Well, we shall see what happens. Kareem, a joy talking to you and a privilege as ever.
Thank you.
DINKY-DOO. Have a lovely day. Good luck with the car. Fantastic stuff. That's our Kareem. What an excellent call. Always an excellent caller, Kareem, you know, never a problem. There we go. Now then, let's see what's happening with the chat. Don't forget the tall booth in the Canongate, says Professor Numpteed. Hi, Scottie, says Susan. Hi, Suzanne. How are you? Good morning, pal, says Thomas. Morning, Susan. I'm good. Scottie, where in Scotland do you like to holiday? Everywhere, John. Argyll, Perthshire, the northeast, Murrayshire, all these places. Beautiful. There we are. I always go on a Scottish holiday. Now, what do we got here? John Stafford, I think we'll dump you on the TikTok. Obviously, I have it. I can see from his logo. There he goes. Fantastic. Just get rid of these idiots. We have a share of the national debt. Well, do we, AJ? Have a fabulous day. Yes, you too, I say to you. If you get independence, you'll be broke by the end of the year. Huxley, where are you getting that complete and utter rubbish, 100% nonsense from? Come and explain yourself right away. You're a disgrace coming out with a comment like that, not based on any fact at all. Wonderful stuff. Now, what do we got here? Hello, darling. A bit of advice. Forget those brazen colours. Interact with your live feed. Yes, thank you, Samantha. There we go. So if we have IndyRef 2, SNP win, that will be 1 each. So we need another vote to decide. Well, no, I think you can say that you need IndyRef 2 because of Brexit. So there we go. Fantastic. Now, there we are. Good morning, Mr. McClue. Larky, Derry. Good morning on the TikTok. Lovely to have you with us. And a very warm welcome. If you've just joined us, you're watching an internet experiment as we make internet history. You're watching Scottie McClue, the world's top broadcaster, hashtag float high, the first lord of the internet, the world's most humble man, and the father of feminism. And we are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We're live on LinkedIn, and we're live on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and tap the bell. Okay, if you're not afraid of work. Where's your ship today, my pirate matey? My ship beyond the high seas, matey man. Pieces of 8 to you. Morning, Susan. I'm good, Suzanne. There have a wee chat to themselves. There's a street with brightly coloured houses off Princes Street, I think. VJ, I think you are talking about, is it Quality Street? Have I got that right? Quality Street, or there's another one. It'll come back to me just off the top of my head. There we are. Fantastic stuff. Welcome, welcome. If you've just joined us, follow me on TikTok. Everybody with a TikTok account should be following Scottie McClue. Brexit's a poor argument as the vote was for the UK to leave the EU. Well, it's not really a poor argument, AJ the Bear, because Scotland's was 62% to remain. So everybody's been done. You've all been worked from the back. Brexit has gained nothing. It's cost us £250 billion to date. Squandered. And that's the cause of a lot of the trouble. The pandemic's cost us 100 billion, but Brexit's the killer. And there was no reason for it apart from the government couldn't negotiate with the rich about their tax. There we are. So they pulled us all out of Europe. So we've lost our seat at the big table in the world's top trading bloc. With our dear friends and allies, Germany, we controlled 30% of it. So we were doing very, very well. We had a lot of clout. And we had 50 years of peace and prosperity in Europe. There we go. So London has the same argument to rejoin the EU. Well, they should do. I mean, they must have realised their mistake by now. There we are. I mean, unless you're a billionaire. Rose Street, says Keith. Is Rose Street all brightly painted now? I haven't seen it. I must confess, the last time I was in Rose Street, which was just when I was offered the job in Sheffield, the programming team had come up from Sheffield, and let's just say we did Rose Street. and I'm not sure I was really noticing all the colours of the buildings. Plus, it was very dark. So there you are. It was night time, and we did Rose Street. Anybody get my meaning? Fantastic. Do you have a photographic memory? Mummy Paws. What a very interesting thing to say. I can look at stuff and take a snap of it if you like. And when I was acting on stage, which is a good place to act, I used to be seeing the script in my mind's eye highlighted. Because a girl once said to me, "You jumped a line, you missed a line." I said, "You jumped 3 pages." Fantastic. Rose Street, says Keith. Yes, absolutely. How long would it take for Scotland to join the EU? 5 years or more? Lucky Derry. I think it would happen very, very quickly, because you would have negotiators that were pro-it from both sides, rather than negotiators that were anti-Brexit from both sides. Remember, we had a Prime Minister who was a Remainer, and we should have kept on that track. There we are. But Boris got in on a let's get Brexit done, because they'd flogged it to death until everybody was sick and tired of it intentionally. And then it was just a walk in the park for the politicians. So there we are. But how much is it delivered? Nothing. You remember so much info. We have to Mummy Paws. No, I'll tell you what that is, Mummy Paws. I was broadcasting on national radio when there was no internet. So you had to actually know your stuff. Nowadays, people say, "I've researched it," meaning they've looked it up in a search engine and they haven't checked their sources. I had to actually read several sources and commit it to memory. It's all to do with understanding. Lexi Sexy, Dinky-Doo. Scotland doesn't meet the criteria to join the EU. In which way, AG the Bairn, do you think it doesn't meet the criteria? As an independent nation, it would most certainly meet the criteria. So let's look at the positives. Sounds like you might be a wee bit anti-independence. And remember, there's never any reason to be anti-independence, because there's no case for the union. No de facto case. Scotty, we need a labourer. Are you up for a few shifts? I am, Jason. Let me just finish the broadcast, and I will be at the bottom of your ladder, la. There we are, no problem at all. And I'm very, very good at taking instruction. There we are, very successful crew member on board ship. There we are, fantastic. Any of that stuff. Dan Brooks, Dinky-Doo, Jake. Lovely to have you with us, and a very warm welcome. If you've just joined us on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and tap the bell. Get everybody educated into that. Scotty, where in Scotland? Oh, yes, we've done that one, haven't we? Excellent stuff. Any more chat coming up on the chat? If you want to phone, the lines are open if you fancy a wee chat in the phones. You'd be very, very welcome. Aye, aye, Captain. Hi from Rosyth Dockyard, HBSA. We love Rosyth Dockyard. The Admiral used to stay up at Castland Hill. Remember that? That was the stuff. And Rosyth Dockyard has seen some huge, huge action in its day. Am I not right in thinking that Rosyth was the base for the Home Fleet and the Grand Fleet in World War I? Have I got that little snippet of history right? Do tell us, I say. You can go on the chat or you can phone me. It's Captain Birdseye. Jacko, you want to smell my fish fingers? There we are. Have you ever worn a pair of rat shoes, Scotty? Rat shoes, no, but I did have fox slippers. And these were, purely synthetic, but they had fox faces on them. And they looked great. And I thought, I think I'll put on my 3-piece pinstripe suit and my fox slippers and go to a board meeting. Yes, where we can all get bored. Realistically, it'd be possible within a year or two to rejoin Europe. I think so, VJ. Realistically, just meaning the amount of stuff. But Scots law and European law are so beautifully interlinked and intertwined. There's a lovely word, intertwined. Scots law being based, of course, on Roman law. And we have excellent courts. It could go to the Court of Session. And we could get stuff negotiated because, as I say, we'd be pushing at an open door. There we are. Yes, that's correct about Rosyth, HBSA. How amazing. And you had, I'll tell you what else I think. Did the K-ships not operate out of Rosyth? The steam submarines that were a disaster. Yes, indeed. And a lot of death, but impressive ships, but very dangerous trying to keep station with the fleet because steam and underwater doesn't actually mix. Yes, news flash, naval architects. Wonderful stuff. I may not be Scottish, but I love everything about the place. James Fizzy. I think everybody loves Scotland. It's an adorable place. Very, very important. Fantastic. So VJ thinks a couple of years and we'd be back into Europe as an independent nation. It's a thought, isn't it? What they need to watch, as I say, my point about the monarchy, you need to give the Orange Lodge carte blanche to march under the saltire. Yes, very, very important. Very important. So they're still marching under a part of the Union flag, but just a part of it. Wonderful stuff. And I think that's very important as well to acknowledge all these things. 40 minutes into our morning program. And guys, sadly, very sadly, this is our last one in the morning. We'll be doing the night times tonight, 10 o'clock. Yeah. So get following on YouTube and subscribe and tap the bell to get your notifications. Go on to Twitch. If you've got a Twitch account, go on right now and look at Scottie_McClue. If you're a LinkedIner, we're on LinkedIn Live right now, which is fabulous. And if you're a Facebooker, we're live on Facebook as well. If you'd like to phone in, feel free to do so. The phone lines are open. I've just opened them and we will take your call. You'll see the number right at the bottom of your screen. How amazing is that? In fact, what I might do is just give you the full bit. How's that, guys? Look at that. Is that not just amazing? Tremendous stuff. Now, I tried to convince America I'd been to the bottom of Loch Ness, but they didn't believe me. No, Larky Derry. It's too deep. You wouldn't go down there. You'd get the bends, I would think. Why would you want to join the EU? It'd be like joining the Roman Empire in the last days of Rome. AJ, not at all. That's another myth that you've had your head stuffed with. The European Union's the world's top trading bloc, 52 countries, 510 million people. Do you not think that's better clout than sitting at a table with only 50 million and 4 countries? In fact, trading as one, they're trading as the United Kingdom. Scotland should be trading all over the world under the EU because it just gives you power. See, we had to join the EU. We had to beg on bended knee to join the EU because we were bust. So there you are. So AJ, I think you're needing to do a wee bit of background because you're just opening your mouth and letting your belly rumble. And none of what you're saying has any truth in it. Not a jot or scintilla of truth in what you're saying. There we are. Hi from Good Time Pizza. We love your Good Time Pizza, Dinky-Doo. Good to have you with us. Do you remember the submarines there? No, Larky Derry. The K-ships were First World War, before my time. They were built after we'd built the dreadnoughts in the arms race for command of the sea. But of course, you had air power coming in. When Britain had command of the sea, she could basically kick the shecht out of everyone. But command of the sea gave way to air power. So it's air superiority now, not sea superiority. But we still have all these huge aircraft carriers. There we are. I swear that's true. Absolutely, Larky Derry. I think one of them sank in the Firth of Forth. One of the K ships. Look that up. I'm trying to remember, was it the K-17? That's just off the top of my head. That might be nonsense. But look up K-ships disaster, Firth of Forth, and tell me if one of the K ships sank in the 5th or 4th and might well still be down there. I don't know if they managed to raise her. Hi, Scottie, and nice to see you again. Martin, lovely to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo from me, Scottie McClue. Tremendous stuff. There must have been other folk that went underneath Loch Ness. It was yellow. Larky Derry, now I don't think you'd be able to get to the bottom without proper diving gear. It will be very, very deep. Phone call. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who is that?
Hi, Scottie. It's Mars here from Birmingham.
Sorry, say again?
Mars from Birmingham.
Miles.
Mars.
Mars. Lovely to have you with us, Mars. Dinky-Doo. Sorry, that was just me. I just couldn't hear you there.
No, it's fine. I'm just ringing to see how are you finding, like, being on the internet now? Like, with all your tech issues you had at the start and everything.
Wonderful, Mars. Absolutely wonderful. Everybody helped out and put a little bit into GoFundMe.com/Scottie-McClue, PayPal.me/Scottie McClue, all one word, and sent me little bits of pennies, very, very kindly. And that allowed us to buy another piece of equipment.
Oh, cool.
So now we've got, some half decent equipment, and it means that at least we're on. So if you've got an internet connection anywhere in the world, then you can join us. Now, the thing is, I can't afford at the moment to advertise the show. Otherwise, it would be absolutely massive.
Yeah.
So if any angels want to step in with a bit of advertising money, then God bless them, I say. But technically, it's tremendous. I mean, you thinking of doing it yourself, Mars?
One day, hopefully, yeah, but nothing like what you do.
No, I would go for it, Mars. I mean, it's just been absolutely fantastic, and everybody is talking about it. And I get offers for radio stations, I get offers for interviews, all that sort of stuff. In other words, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind very often as a performer.
Yeah.
People think, I loved Scottie McClue, but he must be dead now or in a home. He must be about 90. You see?
I never heard about you till I was watching someone else on YouTube with the phone in.
Right.
Mr. The Voice of Reason.
Oh, the Voice of Reason, Alex Belfield.
Yeah.
He's a character and a half. I had to take him to task one night.
Yes. I watched that episode when you called in.
Did you like that? He gave me quite a time of it.
I know, yeah.
But I had to tell him there's more to Scotland than Nicky Nacky Newland.
But that is true. I mean, my mum was born in Scotland.
Right.
And I've got relatives in Scotland.
Excellent stuff. And you're in Brum at the moment.
Yes, yeah.
How fantastic, Moz. Yes, I love it. You see, I used to broadcast to the Midlands, and we got down to Brum.
Oh, right.
So, but that would just be on the edge, although radio signals are incredible. I got a call from a lorry driver, and he said, I'm on the Queen Elizabeth Bridge, and I'm listening to you. He said, it's a bit faint. So he's in London listening to Scottie McClue broadcasting from Nottingham.
Oh,
cool. But we've done all the rounds of the radio stations, and we're 30 years in June.
Wow.
Which is not bad. And then before that, I was in television and radio, setting up radio stations, reading the news on ITV, just having fun.
Cool. Well, it's good to get a bit more background of what you did as well.
Yeah, there's all that stuff. So now, at my stage in the game, I think let's try this wonderful newfangled internet stuff and see if we can build a platform.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, you see, here's somebody on TikTok here, Moz. Hi, Scottie, working up in Morecambe Bay, doing roadworks. Somebody else, hi from Canada, hi from Australia, all that stuff. They're all watching right now.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, that's fantastic. You're never, ever going to get that on radio stations.
No, true. I mean, I do listen to other radio stations.
I would actually love to do a phone in on something like the World Service.
On what, sorry?
On the BBC World Service. Yeah, but I think the only difficulty I've got with the BBC is they're not terribly keen on opinionated people.
Yeah, as I say, I've been listening.
You see, so that makes for, you know, that makes for more of a dull output.
Mm.
You see, because we absolutely thrive on opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I always like to look at both sides of the story.
Oh, absolutely, Moz. That's the way to do it. And look at different sources.
Yeah. I mean, like, I learned something last night watching you last night, because obviously you saying about wanting Scottish independence.
Well, it's not really a question of me wanting it. There is a huge desire for it. So we need to look at it as current affairs.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I always thought, like, England pumped more money in, or the United Kingdom pumped more money in.
That's what everybody's been told, to belittle Scotland. That's why you get the likes of Alex calling it Nicky Nacky Newland, because he doesn't realise he's biting the hand that feeds him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I will rewatch that video last night to see who it was you said. Like, it was a former financial person, wasn't it? Or
yes.
Yeah.
We get, I'm rather chuffed, Moz, at the caliber of the calls. I mean, I used to get a lot of idiots. Now I get far fewer idiots and some very interesting callers who have had enough of mainstream media, have had enough of not being able to talk, and want to come and join us.
Yeah, that's why I say it's like, also because I'm not working today, so I was like, I'll give him a call.
And you see, the other thing, Moz, I don't know what age you are, but I would say that your generation, the future is on the internet.
I'm in my 40s.
Yeah, well, you see, you're absolutely prime for just switching from the likes of television and radio and what have you, and you see, radio's not what it was, because they're getting away from FM radio and medium wave radio. Now, these were very, very powerful mediums. So now it's getting more fragmented. It's on to things like DAB. And DAB, we were very slow to the table with it. I remember DAB coming out at a radio exhibition about, must be 30 years ago, maybe more, maybe 40. And they were saying, this is amazing. You can go into a tunnel and still keep this going. And then, of course, they cut the power. You see? So you need to get the big power out there and get the chat going.
Yeah. No, it's really
Tell
cool.
people what you're about. You see, it's interesting because, Moz, over the last 30 years, I've only had one complaint upheld, and I would have said even that was suspect, because I'd used a word that was the correct word in its proper context, but it's also a slightly sweary word.
Yeah.
You know, so that was that. And, you know, I mean, I've had thousands and thousands of complaints, but nothing has been upheld because I've never actually put a foot wrong.
No.
You see, and I think once the authorities realise that, they should be giving me carte blanche.
Yeah. And another question, do you like Scottish fry-ups? I love them.
What, Scottish?
Scottish fry-ups.
Fry-ups, of course.
Oh, I love them.
My goodness me. That's like asking the Pope if he would like to celebrate Mass.
Well, you know, I have to say, it's like some people don't. But do you fry it or grill it?
Yes, of course. Black pudding, potato scones. A wee tip, if you like potato scones, Martin, pop them in the toaster for a short time and then into the pan.
Yes, so I don't fry, I tend to grill.
You're a grill man, right? Bacon, sausage, flat sausage, lawn sausage.
Yeah, the square sausage. I love the square sausage.
We love our square sausage. Here's a lovely, lovely person on here called Max. He says, great, Scottie, you have a great voice. Fruit pudding, says Mummy Paws. Now, Mummy Paws, I'm going to tell her, Moz, that Mummy Paws talking to Moz here. I'm going to tell her that fruit pudding nearly caused me a problem because I moved it, very silly of me, with my finger in the pan. I wanted, you know, you want to make room for something. So I moved the fruit pudding and a red hot sultana stuck to my finger. So I had to get it straight under the tap. And even then, you know, it had done some damage to the top of my finger. So do be careful with the fruit pudding. Plus, it tends to come out as mush if you don't get it right.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried a white pudding, oatmeal?
Oh, I love white pudding. I love it all.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Moss, what a privilege talking to you this morning, and love to Birmingham.
Yes, thank you.
You've just illustrated, you've answered your own question. You've just illustrated the power of the internet.
Yeah.
And remember, we're only on 4 platforms. We could be on another 26.
Yeah.
So let fingers crossed that we can organically grow this.
It will. Let's say it will. Just keep ringing up Alex as well, argue with him.
Argy with Alex as well. Yes, he's done very well. Great following.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Some opinions of his I don't agree with, but I still watch like his clips that he puts on, and say some I agree, some I don't. But that's
the beauty of it, Moz. That's what it's all about. Dinky-Doo la.
Dinky-Doo.
Go and have a fry up, please, and enjoy every second.
Oh,
See you, Moz.
Bye.
Dinky-Doo la. Top man, what a nice man. There are Moz from Birmingham. Never a dull moment on here, guys, I can tell you. To the telephones, if you're wanting a quick call to Scottie McClue. Guys, it's been an absolute blast these mornings. Just outstanding. Beyond all my wildest dreams. And I hope beyond all your wildest dreams as well. Because coming out of lockdown, people need to talk. Yes, off to the telephones. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scottie. It's Larky Derry. How's things, mate?
Who is it? Larky Derry. What a joy. I love hearing from you. It brings a voice to the name.
Excellent. Just a couple of quick points, my dude. First off, congratulations on the show. Very well done.
Are you enjoying it, Larky?
Yes, indeed. And the other point is the little yellow submarine that I was talking about.
Yes.
The only reason I was asking you is because there used to be a little yellow submarine in Loch Ness, and you could go underneath Loch Ness.
I know what you mean, with a glass bottom.
Yes, it had a glass front, and you would go down underneath, and they would point out searching for Nessie, and they would have the guy would take you down, and you'd be able to see the different errors in the earth.
How fabulous! But I take it you didn't get to the bottom, did you?
No, I don't know how deep.
I don't know how deep. You see, Scottish lochs, Larky, they say some of the Scottish lochs are as deep as the hills around them.
Yes, well, this wee thing went down to hundreds of metres, and I remember being inside it, and it was closing and becoming, it was squeezing itself like a can, and the inside, say, when you started, was quite spacious, and by the time you get down really far, hundreds of metres down, it had contracted
right
to the point where it was very, very small. And I've never ever to anyone ever that's ever been on it or even knows about it, and that's why I thought I'd ask you.
How wonderful. Yeah, you thought if anyone's been on it, McClue will have.
That's what I thought.
Larky, an absolute privilege talking to you. I'm going to have to dash now because we're right out of time. We have to say bye-bye to our beautiful TikTokers. But it's just been a blast today. Thank you so much.
Yep, thanks very much, Scott. Have a very nice day.
Yes, ring me anytime because you're a quality call.
No problem. pal. I shall speak to you later.
DINKY-DOO, buddy. Have a lovely day. What a nice guy. That's what I say, guys. It's the caliber of the calls on here. Tremendous. Right, sadly, we're out of time. It's been an absolute blast. Join me tonight at 10 o'clock sharp. From me, Scottie McClue, to every single one of you.